all you beautiful vlog watchers. I love you guys so much. You guys are so cool watching my story and all. I am back to telling my story. I've taken a break. I took a break to spring clean and I got some mouth surgery done. So it's been kind of crazy, but I needed to take a break and yeah, so I'm ready to get back to it. Hopefully I can just get going and just get this story out there, because I want to tell my story. I do, and I get signs all the time. I continually pray, because I always want to quit too. I want to quit. I want to tell my story and I want to quit. So I just keep praying and I keep getting signs. I'm meant to tell this story, so I'm gonna keep telling it. Yeah, oh my goodness. So where was I, guys? I think that I was at the point where Dave actually proposed to me. It was a little crazy. Or did he propose? He picked me up and told me I was getting married. Was that where I was at? I do believe. Okay. So, anyway, I want to rewind just a little bit because there is something that I left out. I left it out because I felt like, why talk about it? There's no reason to talk about it. It didn't turn out to be anything bad. It was fine. Everything was fine. But it wasn't fine. And I do need to talk about it because there's other women out there that have experienced this. And then there's other women that will experience this. And I've got to say something. I was really lucky and fortunate that I had the support around me that I had, and I didn't expect that, but I did. So I do want to talk about something. I do want to rewind just a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to rewind just a little bit back before I met Dave, and I was still living on the top floor apartment. And basically, I had a toddler and I had a baby, and my baby, I really didn't have very much help. My mother was like never there. She never really offered to help watch them at all. I never really asked her to. I started asking her to once I was dating. If I had a date, I would try to ask her to watch them. I tried to use her very sparingly and only for, important things, which is like meeting a guy so that I can try to get a dad for them, kind of thing. So while I was living up there, I never really got a break with the kids. It was just me and the kids, and my first child loved to sleep. My second child never slept. It was like she never ever slept, and she was up every 3-4 hours wanting to nurse, and she needed to, and she was so tiny, and I was just in that top third story, and I hadn't had any sleep in so long, and I was so exhausted, and I was so wore out, and I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I had postpartum because I was normal for everything else. I was pretty normal. And I felt like I could hear, I almost hear these voices. It's like, just throw her out the window. Just throw her out the window. And I can't explain the feeling that I had of like, it would just solve everything to just throw them out the window. Just throw the two girls out the window. Then it scared me so bad, y'all. It scared me so bad that it's not like me. It's not like me to leave my kids alone at all. But it scared me so bad. I had this such intense desire to throw first the baby and then the toddler, and I felt like if I threw the baby, there's no way I could throw the toddler. But I don't know. It's so weird. It is so weird. I don't know. I left the apartment. I took the keys and I locked them in the apartment and I left. And I went downstairs and I called a help hotline. And I was just crying and I was like, I need help. I'm depressed. I'm serious. I'm a single mom. I'm serious. I need help. I'm depressed. I'm serious and I need help. And I didn't tell them what caused the breakdown. 'Cause I was scared. I was scared to say anything. They're like, "Do you want to hurt yourself?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Do you want to harm others?" And I just hesitated. And they're just like, "Please come help. Just come help me." And DHS. Some DHS representatives came out to the apartments, and it wasn't that night. I went and I remember I just sat on the other side of the apartment door in the hallway with them in there, and I was just crying because I didn't know what to do. I was scared to be around my kids, but I was scared to not be around my kids. So it was really strange. This happened right before I met Dave. So I wasn't working in the daycare. I was working at Old Time Photo, and this is why, because I was thinking, y'all might wonder, once I met Dave and everything, I needed a job and everything, he convinced me to go back to school, why I didn't go to work at a daycare anymore. I was changing, and the way that I saw children was changing. It felt like against my will. It really felt against my will, but I was changing. And the way that I saw children was changing. I still had my knowledge and my love for them, but I was really changing. But that night, I pretty much stayed outside, and then in the morning I got up and took them to Miss Jilly's, and I then was able to get postpartum care. They said I had postpartum depression. They did give me antidepressants, but I did not take them. They gave me antidepressants whenever I was pregnant with my first baby, and I did not take them. I'm full-time breastfeeding a baby that I can't wean. I can't possibly wean her, so I didn't think I could take pills, It's just not an option for me. So I didn't take the pills, but I always take the processes seriously, because for me, I feel like I have to. If I can't take the pills, I better take the processes seriously. So I did take the processes seriously, and it really was the only time that I felt like that. I'm so happy to have my babies. I love them so much, and I don't like talking about that. It was really weird, y'all. I really did feel like I heard and felt that it's best. It's so weird. I can't explain it, because there's no way, looking back, there's no way. And if I would have listened to those voices, I know that within 1 month, with me not listening to those voices, I knew that they were wrong. I knew that they were wrong to begin with, though. And I don't know why some moms, but I can't explain the psychosis of it. It's real, though. It's real. But I can't explain it. It's just, I don't know. I guess sometimes whenever you're mad at someone, you smart off and you say blah, blah, blah. It hurts them, and you look back, you're like, I wish I wouldn't have said blah, blah, blah. I wish I wouldn't have hurt them that much, but in the time, it felt like the right thing to do. That's the kind of feeling that it is, but it's so wrong. I don't know, and it's like, I heard. We'd all be better off if you threw them out the window. All of us would be better off if you threw them out the window. No, we wouldn't. I don't know. It's easy for me to say that now, but at the time, in the moment, it's so crazy. And I was all alone, y'all. I was all alone. All alone. So it's crazy. So yeah, and I would go to Unitarian church. I would go to Unitarian church all the time. I went to this Unitarian church, and there were a bunch of elder people there, and they had this library of just like wonderful spiritual books, like everything you can imagine. And I looked into, I was looking more into like the Hindu arts and Hinduism and stuff like that. And this older lady who was actually from India, like, took me under her thumb and like taught me so much, like, about Vedic astrology and the history of Eastern philosophy and Eastern wisdom. I just feel so lucky and honored to be able to work with her. And I was trying to put together a I wanted to meet friends because I didn't know anybody there, because, so I was putting together a single moms club, and I would, we would meet at parks and stuff and have potlucks and stuff, and like 2-3 people would show, like, not always the same people. It was not sticking at all. It was not sticky at all, but I was trying to put that together, and I was working with this Indian lady. And I remember one service at the Unitarian church where the preacher said to write on your mirror, believe, so you can remind yourself to believe, and write, do it with your finger, and then whenever you have a shower and your mirror steams up and you get out of the shower, you can remind yourself to believe. And I had done that, and while I was dating Dave, like, I remember we had just been dating for like a week. We hadn't quite been together yet. I had taken a shower and I stepped out and I saw that believe on the mirror, and it freaked me out. I thought that it wasn't my handwriting. I got so scared, y'all. I was so scared. I called him and I was like, "Did you do this?" He was like, "No." And I was like, "What the heck?" And I was like freaking out. And I went to my mom's apartment and stayed the night at her house. She wasn't there. She was gone. I don't know where she was, but I had my girls, and yeah, I just went to her place in her apartment and stayed the night because I was so scared, because I remembered later, oh yeah, I put it there so that I would remind myself to believe in you, believe in God, believe. Oh my goodness, I scared my own self though by putting believe on the mirror. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, I lost my job at Old Time Photo, and Dave got me an apartment and convinced me to go back to school. He convinced me to get a DNA test for my daughter. I don't know why, but he also, I don't know, it's really crazy having someone that loves and supports you, that just loves you, he like just loved me. But I end up getting pregnant, of course. I end up getting pregnant. It's not like we were doing anything to prevent it, really. So he wants me to marry him, and he doesn't want to waste any time getting married. So yeah, we end up going to the courthouse. But I guess that'll be the next video. We'll talk about my marriage and how I got married, how that worked out. So yeah, guys, thank you for going on this journey of Rewind with me, and I can't wait to see you guys for the next one and tell you all about my wedding. So yeah, see you guys at the next one.
My story.
Bye-bye.
That's all she got.